Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Tonight we're just going to be changing some tyres, so I thought I'll grab my camera and I'll just show you how I do it, because I do it at home. I don't, generally if I can avoid it, I don't use a tyre shop. I've got a little tyre machine and I just do it at home. So we're in about 3 weeks we're doing Drift School Australia thrill rides. So I've ordered some tyres. I got 8 brand new ones and 2 brand new ones on the car, so 10 tyres all up. And I've got a whole heap of wheels that I need to put them on. So I've got my little stack going on. This one here, I've broken the bead, but I'll show you how using my little tyre machine. So yeah, let's get into it. So pretty much what you want to do is have the wheel face up, because that's the bead you want to break first. And this is just a bead breaker tyre fitting thing. If you want to, you can break the bead and then you can put the wheel on here, and this goes in a wheel spoke, like one of the wheel holes, and that holds it from turning around, so that you can do the tyre fitting up here. But I haven't got anything to bolt it to. I was going to make something on my car trailer so I can mount this to my car trailer, and then I can fit the tyres up here and break the bead down here. But I've had this thing about 5 or 6 years, and I just jack up my car, and I don't know if you can see, but I'm just jacked up off the tow point, just enough to get the wheel off the ground, slide this under, and then lower it down, so that it basically just to hold it. Oh, that's pretty firm enough. So what you want to do is get the wheel on there like that, grab your big pole that's supplied, and then basically I always put a foot out here on the back to stop the wheel flipping. But you basically just want to press down, and as I said, this has already been broken, and it breaks the bead. Sometimes you have to fight to get it back out, and sometimes you have to go there, and then there, and then there, and then there, and then there. Sometimes you just go down and the whole bead comes with it. It depends on the tyre, like how strong the sidewall is on the particular tyre. If it's a real stiff one, or if it's a really soft sidewall tyre, generally the soft ones are the better ones. They sort of just collapse. And also it depends how long the tyre's been on the rim. If it's been there for 5 years, good luck. You're better off probably just burning it. But generally they don't fight too much. When you flip them over and do the back bead, generally that's where the issue is. And the reason is because of the shape of the rim. Right there, there's a step down, and this tyre, that's why you fit the tyre rim up, so that you can get the tyre into that indent, into that step down in here, and it allows the tyre to come in, so that on this side you can actually stretch it over. So that's kind of the gist of it. So now that I've shown you what this is and how to jig it up and how to use it, basically, by the way, I paid about 80 bucks off eBay for this thing, and it's been with me for years. The struggle with it is just keeping this straight, because I've had moments where I've been on unlevel ground, and as I pull down, this tries to go sideways like that, and then these arms do their own thing, and then you've got to, you really don't want to break them or bend them, because if you do, the whole thing's trash. So I'll set up the jig over there, and then I'll show you how I take the tyre off. So basically what you want to do is you want to have these 2 tyre bars. You can if you want to use screwdrivers. I've done that before, flathead screwdrivers. So what you want to basically do is just get in there and small bits at a time, pull them up over the lip, pull that one out, stand on that, pick another one in there, like that, and now that you've got that there up and out, this side's going to be quite easy. So just stick them in there, and that's pretty much that. You basically want to just pick it up and pull the tyre out of the rim like that, and then basically just put it through, and then pull back, and just like that. So yeah, sometimes, whoa, zoom in. Sometimes it'll fall out and make all this noise like that, and sometimes it'll just come out quite gracefully. The first time I did that, it came out real nice, didn't make any noise, you wouldn't have even known. And then I put it back together to make this video and show you, and obviously it just made a heap of noise and kind of looked really shit. So sometimes it'll come flying out. Sometimes it'll come flying out, sometimes it'll just fall out really nicely. But just be really careful when you're putting downward pressure trying to get it out. I have actually in the past had the bar slip out and come at me. So take a bit of care when you're doing that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. So that's how you get the tyre off, and that's how you get it off, like break the bead, and that's how you get it off the rim. So next I'll just show you lubing up the new tyre and fitting it to the rim. Alright, so what we've got here is the new tyre, and in my scenario it doesn't really matter inside or outside. I know some hardcore directional tyres it does matter, and generally they go on backwards, so the inside goes to the outside. In my experience with doing that, it helps stop the delam, so it helps stop treads of, like rows of tread ripping off if they're on backwards. And in our sport doing drifting, it doesn't really matter which way the direction is, because we don't want the water going anywhere really. They're not designed for road use in our scenario, so it's not like we're just driving down the road in the rain and we're looking for road noise, or we're looking for water disbursement or anything silly like that. So yeah, if they're on backwards, it's sweet, it's good to go. So there is an inside on these and an outside. In this scenario, it doesn't really matter at all, so I'm going to put them on the correct way. And if I get camber wear for whatever reason, I shouldn't, because I'm running a certain alignment, but if I start to get camber wear, or what I do find is if I run a predominant left-hand track, I will wear out one side of the car more than the other. So if there's like heaps of right-hand, so for example, if there's like a big right-hand sweeper and then a right-hand dipper, and there's a couple of left-hand turns but they're just short or they're not real long, I'll tend to wear out the left tire first, because I don't know, just the weight on it. Sometimes it goes the other way and one wheel will spin faster because there's not enough, the weight's transferring over, so you get that inside wheel picking up a bit more. Sometimes you might wear that out, but either way, what I'm saying is just if you just monitor your tyre wear, monitor your pressures, and if you left to right your tyres halfway through something and you can get in and quickly do a rotate, you might actually be able to even out that life wear and not run one tyre completely down and still have another tyre that's kind of good. So with my scenarios, it doesn't really matter. I will be keeping an eye on the tyres though, and if they do wear one down more than the other, which I suspect it will, because it's a predominant right hand down track where I'm going to be, I will be doing, after a couple of laps, a left to right and adjust the pressures and get even wear. So alright, so basically I'm just going to stand by the camera and just talk to you because the microphone's right there. So I'm just going to go down and lubricate the tyre. I've got a bucket of water, little bowl of it's basically just a brush with a bowl of water and a little bit of dishwashing liquid, and the more lube you can put on it, the better it's going to be. Don't stop putting this stuff on, because if you rip a bead and you damage it, it won't hold air. You won't damage it to the point you can't use it, it'll just damage it to the point you can't leave it for ages without it leaking air out. If you were using a tyre machine, there is a chance you could use it beyond repair, but doing it by hand, you're not going to put that much pressure on it. All you're going to do is rip the rubber around the steel belt on the bead, and that will cause an incorrect seal. I've had it before where I've actually done that and I broke the rubber around the bead, which is this part of the tyre here. I actually ripped the rubber. This is the bead, so this is what sits on the inside of that rim, that lip there. So this part of the tyre sits in there, and that's what they call the bead, and I've actually ripped part of this rubber and it sat up, and that caused this part of the tyre not to sit properly and it leaked air out. So just take care, the more lube you can put on it, the better it's going to be for everybody involved. And even though I have a massive chunk missing out of my wheel, it does hold air, it does not matter. It just makes it interesting for fitting tyres, because I have to be pretty careful on which part of the rim I start on. I normally start there and fold it over. So yeah, let's put it on. Sometimes when you go to whack it down, this bar here can be quite your friend, because if it doesn't want to go down, you can sit it inside the tyre and sort of beat it down like that, so it does help. But that tyre is pretty good, and I was able to just whack it down. So what you want to do, you get your bar and just find the point. Like that. And just stand on it. So the more pressure down you can get, the better it's going to be, because it pushes the tyre under this lip. And then just I stand on it to follow it and help it. Like that. And just remember to take little bits at a time. And when you get to this point, it's going to get quite tight, so just start going a little slowly. Like that. Just like that. Easy done. Real easy. So that's the new tyre fitted to the rim. So that's now ready to get inflated. So I'm just going to put a heap of air in it. I've got a valve and my valve tool, a valve core and my valve tool. So I'm going to get them set, and like that, and then get them set so that when I'm ready I can pull a line out and wind them straight in. So what we've got now is a fitted, air inflated, brand new tyre onto my rim. And as you can see, even with that chunk, it's not bulging, not with the pressures I run anyway. I don't run too high pressure. So that's one done, and I've got a whole stack to do, so I'm not going to film each and every one. I just thought I'll just quickly show you one, and that's pretty much how I change tyres at home. And the really cool thing about this is if you don't have a compressor like what I've got this as well, and this is only a single pump, and there's your line for it. You wind that on. So you can do this at the track. It runs off your battery, but obviously have your car running when you do that, it'll run the battery down. And I've got this here, which takes the four-wheel drive inflator, the thing. So you wind your valve out, wind your air line in, get maximum airflow. When you're way over pressure, wind it out, and then get this to wind your valve back in, and then just set your pressure. Unless you've got a valve tool like what I've got, you can wind it in after you overinflate it, because by the time you take that off and then wind that in, you should be at your pressure that you want. There you go. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Tell your friends about it, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. See you guys.